Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night. It's your boys. It's A2D Radio. Flyers talk A2D to be specific. Talking everything Flyers, everything over the last couple weeks from the holiday road trip to the 3-game win streak to falling on their face against the Penguins, which is obviously something you don't want to see. Let's make sure we hit that like, we hit that subscribe, we hit that share button if you're on that platform. Jump on in. Water's warm. It's time to join and start the conversation. So come be a part of it. Let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of Flyers Talk A2D right here on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sinsuti along with the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
What's up, everybody?
And today we are brought to you by, as always, Specialized Physical Therapy, the Dr. Paul Vidal. If you have any aches and pains and you need to get that taken care of, hit up the doc at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com. After a couple of sessions with his teams either in Burlington or Cherry Hill, New Jersey, you'll feel as good as new, pain-free, and enjoying the things you like to do, and also enjoying and being helpful at work, or just basically enjoying life a little bit more. And that's worth it at the end of the day. Those small victories go a long way, especially pain-free. Specialized Physical Therapy is where you want to go for that. And the poll question for today is: the last two losses for the Flyers show there are still some question marks for this team to take the next step in the rebuild. Agree or disagree? Obviously, the Flyers took an absolutely atrocious loss to the Penguins. However, though, and they also took a 2-0 shutout to the Tampa Bay Lightning that they had to eat. However, though, they did also manage to rattle off a couple of victories in between those losses. They rattled off another win over the Florida Panthers. They also did get a big victory over the Islanders. And they had a big victory against the Devils as well. So the question then is, with these two particular losses, especially the one against the Penguins, are there still question marks here for this franchise? Agree or disagree? Bri, how do you feel about it?
I would agree. I definitely think there's definitely some holes. We've been saying it the last, I feel like, couple weeks, especially. We've been saying it over the last few months that this team is nowhere near complete. They are still looking to upgrade in certain positions for sure. Centers, obviously, the glaring look right now, in my opinion. You know, you bring in Trevor Zegras and you can play him in a couple different versatile spots, but the Flyers, I feel like, see him more as a winger than a center right now, and you still have to address that need. You also have to address the goaltending need. I think Vladar's been really good, but I definitely think Ersson's left a lot to be desired. His last couple starts haven't been terrible, especially the one. Who did he just play? I want to say it was the Islanders. He was in the net for, but he didn't look terrible. I don't even honestly remember who was in net last night. My last night is just a big old blur to me. But regardless, you definitely need to want to upgrade a goalie, whether you think it's going to be Kolosov or Bjarnason or somebody from outside the organization. You definitely have some holes. And rumor has it they want to try and bring in another top 4 defenseman, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I would always take an upgrade. But from what I've been hearing via Twitter, I think it was Charlie O'Connell who put this out. I'll double check the tweet and just to be sure. But Rizzo is going to start skating in practice tomorrow, so that's a good sign. So you're going to get a big body back. But yeah, for me, you definitely have some holes here. Power play is starting to show a little inconsistency. Penalty kill's been pretty great up until the game last night. The Penguins just made the penalty kill look absolutely silly, but that's something that's I'm not too worried about. But you definitely have some holes here. Now that Forsher's out for the next 2 to 3 months with his upper body injury, you're going to have a hole there. We're really going to find out if Gurbankin is what everybody wants him to be, because I want him to be a top 6 forward. Hopefully he can start showing that he can be, because to me, there's nobody else right now that takes that role. But yeah, I absolutely think there's holes that need to be filled, and there's still some question marks that need to be answered. But I mean, this team has overachieved a little bit this year. I think they've played really well overall. And we'll get a little bit more into it as we go on here. But I think the one thing that this team is missing is setting the tone every night. And I think in the Devils game they did a really good job of that. But we need to see that a little bit more consistently for me to really believe that this team, built as it is now, is ready to be a playoff team. But until they show me otherwise, right now, I said in the offseason, I said at the beginning of the year, this is still a bubble team. This is still a team that can go either way. When you play a rival and you fall flat on your face like you did against the Penguins, you have to figure out a way to – you have to find a way to step up. And I realized like the last game that they played against the Penguins was really good. It was a much better showing than this one, and they were due for a stinker. But this was, to me, their worst performance of the year.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to say that agree, but I also feel like that was I feel like that was going to happen. I feel like it was expected that there was still going to be some holes here and there on the Flyers team because it's not complete.
Mm-hmm.
And that was going into the year. We knew that was going to be a thing. I definitely also think, too, that even if you didn't have holes necessarily, you were going to run into nights where you're going to play, where things are just not going to go your way and you're going to play like crap. And I think the previous game against Pittsburgh, it clearly was that. Nothing was going their way. They got opportunities on Jari, but nothing was getting by him except one goal. And honestly, and Vladar was a net last night. Okay. And honestly, Vladar, I don't necessarily think it was all his fault. I just think that at the end of the day, it was a bad night at the office. And unfortunately, the whole team suffered from it at the end of the day. And, the only thing you can do is try to forget this loss in the sense of like, okay, don't let that be the moment that everything comes to a screeching halt, which so far they've responded very well to taking tough losses because they've taken tough losses and rebounded. I mean, hell, earlier on in the year, they took a really nasty loss to Winnipeg, and then they responded by rattling off 3 straight victories. So this is a team that's shown resilience, so I'm not as worried about it as I would be, like, say, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where it's like, okay, we just took a nasty loss. We're going to go on a bad streak here.
Yeah.
And, I think right now, I think they'll be fine. I just think that this was a bad night. Also, on top of it, too, I think Pittsburgh for them, they needed to go into Philly and get a win. Not necessarily for standings, but for pride, if anything, because they took that loss the last time where they lost 3 times in the same game. So, and to be fair, Pittsburgh played like crap in that game. So they had to respond and they had to show like, you're not just going to walk all over us this year. So I think they had that going into this game. So they were up, to say the least, for that. And, I think that ultimately proved that, Pittsburgh was more ready for this game than the Flyers were in that situation.
And don't forget the ending of the last game where Trevor Zegras decided to act a fool and do some Bush League stuff. But, you had to expect that there was going to be some kind of a response from Pittsburgh after that. I mean, you win 3-2, I believe, in the shootout. Was it? What's up, Benny? You have to believe that Pittsburgh was coming back. And like I said, just last night alone it was just a bad night for the penalty kill. They let up 3 power play goals. You're giving up a couple goals to Sidney Crosby. What's up, Robbie? We miss you, brother.
Yeah.
And some nights it's just going to be that way. You're going to give up 3 power play goals. The penalty kill is going to be the reason why you win or lose a game. 5-on-5, they were pretty. I would say they were about average on the 5-on-5. But when you're getting smoked on the penalty kill, it's really a momentum killer, and it's tough to really kind of climb back into the game, especially when you're taking dumb penalties. that to me is one of the biggest issues with this Flyers team is not always necessarily how they start, because, sometimes they finish way better than they start. They keep taking too many dumb penalties. It was bound to happen that the penalty, as good as the penalty kill has been for this team all season long, that it was going to come back and bite them, especially a Pittsburgh team that seems, rejuvenated, because Pittsburgh was expected, I think, by all of us to be a bottom tier team. SMJ, what's up, my dude? This was a tougher L to swallow than the Tampa Bay game. They just got flat out outplayed against Tampa, and that was kind of that was tough to swallow. But I think this one's tougher because it was stupid penalties. It was penalties within their control that led to some of these goals. And this rejuvenated Penguins team that, under a new head coach, under Sidney Crosby, who's playing like he's 25 years old again, Brandon Russ playing really well, Malkin playing well, Letang looking like a younger version of himself right now. It's a tough one. It's a tougher one to swallow, especially after how you played against Pittsburgh in the first meeting. So for me, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough loss, and you got to stay 5-on-5 against a team like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this was probably the worst performance they've had all year.
Agreed.
I think that is no argument. But that's the thing. Like, okay, so you had your low point. Now you can rebound from that. I mean, at some point the bottom was going to fall out, and you were going to take a really nasty loss. It's still early in the season. Take a nasty loss to a team that is going to want to play you hard, and played very poorly the last time they faced you. So they had a lot to prove. So again, I'm not worried. I think that was bad performance, bad night. You shrug it off and you move forward, and that's what they have to do here at the end of the day. And Benny's saying inconsistency is what you will get with a young team and a new coach. Then you can get inconsistency. You are right. And I think it's also not just I don't think it was just that too. I think it was just that at some point you were gonna have one of those games. You were gonna have one of those games where nothing's clicking, nothing's going right. Everything that Pittsburgh touched was going into the back of the net. Vladar was not a world beater like he had been in previous games. He was gonna have an off night at some point. Everyone does, and that's just how it is. That it's a tough loss to take, especially to a team that you despise. But at the same time, what are you going to do? The only thing you can do is just say, you know what? Take a deep breath, move forward, rebound with your next game. And they've done it before. They'll do it again. They rebounded just fine when they took that 2-0 loss to Tampa. So I think they'll rebound again. Just, they gotta stay consistent, like Benny is saying. They just got to stay consistent. If they can get that going, then they'll be all right. And that's all that there is to it. Rough loss, but like I said, this team's been resilient. So
yeah, and to the end of SJM's comment and what Rob was saying, it's hard to not see that this team is improved. This team is much more, in a lot of ways, much better than they were last year. They're watching the show from my hot tub at my physical therapist during. Nice. Your physical therapist, did you go to specialized physical therapy by chance? You gotta go show them some love, man. They're right around the corner from us.
All the same though, hey man, good luck. Enjoy hopefully it is healing you.
Yeah, I got a giant knot in my shoulder right now, and it's terrible. But
well, then you need to go see specialized physical therapy.
I just need a massage. I need to get a knot out of my shoulder.
Go to specialized physical. What the fuck are you doing, Bri? Go to specialized physical therapy.
I'll go see Dr. Paul.
Yes, Dr. Paul. Jesus.
See if one of his nurses might give me a little rub down.
Hey, listen.
Hey now. Hey. No, but the one thing that it's blatantly obvious. Penalty kills improved. Power play, I think, has definitely improved. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be any worse than they were last year for sure. There's still some holes that need to be addressed for sure. This team is far from a cup contender. Like I said, borderline playoff contender. I've been saying it for weeks, been saying it for months. But yeah, to Benny's point, yeah, inconsistency. Yeah, it's going to come with a young team. It's going to come with a couple guys who are it's still relatively new to the organization. You know, that are getting fresh starts in Dvorak and Zegras, and I got a bone to pick with Dvorak. I was ready to trade him immediately after the other night. You know where I'm going with this? I think you know where I'm going with
I
this.
know where you're going. Please feel free to elaborate for those who may not have seen.
Dvorak, clean breakaway, nobody near him. Decides to drop it back to Couturier.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you throw Bobrovsky off. But then Couturier decides he wants to pass the puck to Dvorak, who's in the corner, when you have an open shot in the slot. What are we doing?
It literally just drives home the stereotype that the Flyers don't know when to shoot the puck.
It drives home the fact that Tocchet's teams don't know how to know when to shoot. This isn't just the Flyers. This is Tocchet's system. And I love Coots. I love Dvorak. I love what they bring to this team. But, one of you guys have to shoot that puck. Luckily, they wound up beating the Panthers in that game. But Jesus Christ, somebody's got to shoot that.
Somebody, anybody, please just shoot the fucking
that was
puck.
Brutal. I was watching the game and I was in shock. I don't think I moved for about 15 minutes.
You literally could not handle. I mean, I literally remember seeing that, and
that broke my brain.
It literally, I looked at that and I was just thinking to myself, you know what? This is the exact issue. This is going to be the highlight of everybody saying, see, the Flyers don't know how to shoot the puck. They always pass. It's like, yep, that's going to give them fuel. That's definitely going to give them fuel.
That irked my soul. It broke me for 15 minutes. What's up, Swoopy? But yeah, I mean, like I said, they have to shoot more too. Obviously, that's another glaring hole. But that also comes from having guys who don't necessarily they're not shoot first caliber players. I think Michkov is still Zegras is closer to a shoot first caliber player, but to still think that Zegras still a playmaker. He's going to pass first before he shoots. But they got to shoot more. Oh, don't, no. Come on, Benny. Come on, man. Averaging 5 shots a game. This is where we're at.
Oh God, let's hope not.
No. 5 shots a period. I'll give him at least 15.
I mean, I will say though, I do think that we have seen a little bit better on that. I mean, for one thing, look at Zegras, for God's sakes. Guy's literally a scoring machine at this point.
Kid's a stud.
I know.
Such an absolute stud.
See, this is what I love to see. Sometimes you do need to change the scenery. All you got to do is see a picture of Trevor Zegras. Like, that is the definition of that.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many points he has. He's on his way to shatter what he's done in the past as far as career highs.
Absolutely, he is thriving right now.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I will say that as for this particular game, it's frustrating to see this kind of shit happen, but it's gonna happen. There's nothing we can do about this. I know the younger, more temperamental me would be throwing this laptop that I am broadcasting from across the room right now. But as I have gotten older, not wiser, but older, I have realized that, you know what, this is the season. This is what's going to happen. This shit's going to happen. The Flyers aren't going to be world beaters every night. And maybe it's because I don't have as high expectations as I used to. I used to have the expectations of the Flyers have to make the playoffs. Now I'm just like, I just want them to be strong and I want them to actually grow. Mm-hmm. If they're competitive, then that's like, okay, even if they miss the playoffs, it's like, all right, at least the young guys are thriving, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day right now.
Yeah.
Swoopy saying, why in the world People think Flyers are only 3 good players away. Hearing Quinn Hughes is being said to be the missing guy. What?
He's
Get out of
definitely
here.
he's definitely a missing guy. He's going to make any team immediately better, especially on the defensive side. Tocchet guy, flourish in his system, really became the elite player that he is, and the best of the 3 Hughes brothers. There's no question about it.
The other 2, they're both on New Jersey, right?
Luke and Jack are playing together. Jack, unfortunately, is out right now. I don't know how much longer he's going to be out for, but he decided to cut his finger wide open during a team dinner. So had surgery, got stitched up.
Of all the ways to hurt yourself, like, okay.
I mean, Claude Giroux broke his finger in a golfing incident, so
he did, and
it happens.
He also slapped a cop's ass and got arrested. So
Yeah, but he didn't miss time for that.
He didn't, but it's still funny.
It's still hysterical. It's just like crazy stuff happens. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's life. But yeah, I mean, I think they're about 3 good quality players away from being a legit team. They definitely are missing a legit superstar.
Benny, stop ratting me
out.
That
is so
man.
True. That is so true.
Stop ratting me out, Benny. I trust you with this, and then you're gonna and just spill my daughter laundry right here live on the air. Damn it, Benny. Can't tell you nothing. Anyway.
Let him know, Benny. That's the absolute truth.
Damn.
And that doesn't just go for Maddie, and I'm not going to use any examples, but I may be included in that.
That's the last time I share a deep, dark secret with you, Benny. The last time. Anyway. So, Swoopy saying, you think Quinn is the best of them, Bri?
Oh, hands down. It's not even close.
I mean, honestly.
It's not even close.
Jack
is good. Luke is okay. Quinn is the best of the 3, and it's not even close.
I did see, I think it was, I forget. I think it was like a graphic I saw on Facebook or what have you that saw 3 or 4 teams that are in the running for Quinn Hughes. The Flyers are among them.
Yes.
I think, obviously the Devils are in there, which doesn't shock me at all.
I think I saw the Rangers.
The Rangers
was one of them.
Was Buffalo one of them?
Might have been.
I think Buffalo was one of them.
Buffalo has the resources to be able to get a trade like that done.
Right. And I think a West team was in there. Was it LA?
I don't remember a West team because he wants to be closer to Jack and Luke. So I think it's all going to be Eastern Conference teams.
Okay. Either way.
Division, probably.
I think that might be it, but maybe there was 5. Either way, though, the point being is that the Flyers are in the running, most likely. And the thing is that Danny's going to listen. He's going to, take into consideration, all of the offers and all of the ideas here. There's a few trades that I've heard. One would send Owen Tippett out. Another one, I think Sanheim was brought up. So I've heard a couple of names thrown around. It's interesting. I mean, I'm wondering, out of the 2, Bri, which one would you be more comfortable with letting go? Would it be Sanheim or would it be Tippett? Because obviously you're not sending both out in that deal. So which one would you choose if you had to?
If I had to choose right now. It would probably be Sanheim, only because he can fill Sanheim's role. And if you bring in another defenseman without letting another one go the other way, that could turn into another log jam. And that's one thing we don't need is another defenseman in the log jam, help keeping Oliver Bonk from being able to come up and taking away more consistent ice time from a guy like Emil Andre. So, for me, it's I would use Tippett in another deal if I could, but in this specific deal, unless there's a young defenseman going that way, it'll have to be Sanheim.
Yeah, I got you on that one. I mean, honestly, though, I'm not against it. I mean, I know Sanheim has been with the team for a while, and he has played very well for the Flyers during that time. But as the old saying goes, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So, if you got to, you go ahead and you make the trade. If you feel like Quinn Hughes is an upgrade from Sanheim, which he is.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah,
not even.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, if you got to do it, you got to do it.
Mhm.
Again, you got to do what you got to do, and an upgrade's an upgrade at the end of the
If
day.
if they are really selling Quinn Hughes, they have to. The Flyers have to.
Right.
Again, this is a guy who has flourished under Tocchet's system. He understands a little bit more, can help the defense, who haven't been bad all season long. It's spurts here and there. Even in the bad games, the defense has still been more than not the best part of the game. But you have, if you even linked or even hearing that a guy like Quinn Hughes is available and you have the resources to get it done, you have to try. Have to try. And he's still young. I think he's 27 or 28.
Yeah, he's not
Somewhere along the
old.
lines, maybe
Yeah,
30
yeah,
at the oldest.
he's not old by any stretch of the imagination. He's still got plenty of gas left in the tank. So it's not a concern of that. But I think it's just, one of those things of, if you're going to trade a player, I think people want to see the results immediately right
26.
off the bat. So, okay, he's 26. Yeah.
26.
Yeah, he's not old at
Get it
all.
done. Get it done.
Plenty of gas in that tank. So yeah, I mean, personally, I would consider and do that trade if everything is going to fall into place on that. I mean, honestly, yeah, I'd do it. I mean, also, if they want to talk about picks to get thrown in there too, I mean, I'm not against it either. I'm just like, okay, we can talk about picks too. Because I mean, obviously, if the Flyers continue to play as solidly as they have and they continue to stay consistent, or if they get more consistent, and if they continue to stay and hover where they're at, or improve either way, and they don't take a massive fall, then they essentially could be a wild card team, essentially. And what that would mean is, okay, so our first round pick is not necessarily going to be coveted. So I'd be open to it
Yeah,
at
one
the end of
first
the
round.
day.
You got one
Yeah.
first round this year, right? You got
Yeah.
2 next year.
Right.
That can get it done. And
Right.
then you could probably move like a Tippett or somebody later on in another deal and still get another first round pick, so you don't miss out on getting a pick this year that you could potentially need. Although outside of like Gavin McKenna, I hear there's a little bit of a drop off in this draft class. So
Right. And plus also the Flyers have plenty of young studs that have still yet to show up in the pipeline anyway. So I mean, Martone, just for a perfect example, and he's been absolutely just lighting it the fuck up out there in college. So, point being is that the Flyers have plenty of young talent that has yet to come through the pipeline. So at the end of the day, it's like, all right. This year, you don't have to necessarily pick in the first round. You can, as long as you improved the team drastically, and it sounds like Quinn Hughes would be that guy to drastically improve this team's blue line, then go for it at the end of the day. I'm okay with that.
And it's not even just the defensive side of the puck. You're going to improve the penalty kill. You're improving the power play. You're improving 5-on-5 play. Could you imagine? Oh man, Quinn Hughes on the top line with Cam York, then Sealer on the second pairing with Drysdale, and then Risto and Andre on the third pairing. Like that could be a scary.
That's a pretty
scary pairings there.
That's a pretty solid defensive force right there. I mean, honestly, even if worse comes to worse and Risto gets himself hurt again, which unfortunately he has a bad habit of doing, you could still put somebody else in there and you should still be fine on that third pair with Andre. So honestly, I think, yeah, we got a pretty solid defensive force. And like you said, Bri, it's been one of the bigger highlights that the Flyers have had. And I mean, the penalty kill shows for it. Sure, bad example for yesterday, but in previous games, they've been handling their business just fine. It's been the power play that a lot of people have been having some issues with. Although the power play, I feel like, has played better this year than it did last year.
Oh,
But
you can't be any worse than they were last year.
right, but that's not saying much, is what I was about to say. It's like, that's not saying much. I mean, hell, the Flyers could just tick up by 2% on their power play this year, and that's enough to say, damn, we did a lot better this year. Anyway, but the point being is that if Quentin Hughes is the guy, I say go for him. I'm not against that trade. I'm not against an upgrade. And I'm happy you said Sanheim, Bri, because I was leaning more towards Sanheim. I don't want to trade Tippett, honestly. I don't. And the reason why I don't want to trade Tippett is just like Tippett's been able to thrive. I feel like this year particularly, it's like you can tell that his hunger's there, and you can tell that he is getting those goals. He's getting those opportunities, and he's getting the finish down, I feel. So it's like I don't want to trade him just when he's starting to kind of turn it rear around here a little bit, because I feel like Tippett has that upside where it's like, well, offensively he can contribute, and that's nothing against Sanheim. It's just that, blue line wise, if, like you said, Hughes is an upgrade from him and fills his role, then who do you got to replace Tippett? That do have possibilities, but you got potential for others to replace him. But at the same time, it's like it's not a guarantee. Whereas I feel like, okay, well, with Hughes, it should be fine. Just putting that in there.
No, I mean that's a fair point, and you bring up a good thing. But the one thing that I will agree with you is there's definitely options. So, and I agree with you, Robbie, 100%. Zegras has definitely helped the power play. You got Bump, you have Barkey, you have potentially Gurbankin.
Right.
There's options there to fill that role. So my big thing with Owen Tippett, who's been really good defensively this year, I'm just going to put that out there now, has shown some inconsistency this year as far as scoring. He's either going to light the lamp for a couple points a night, or he's going to give you nothing. He had a great game against the Devils. He had 3 points in that game. He had 2 goals. And then he had a goal the other night. Who were they playing? I think it was the Islanders. I think he had a goal in. But anyway, I'm sorry. No, it was an assist against the Panthers. Right. Okay. So with Tippett, I would be okay, depending on what the deal is, to move him. Unless he starts setting the world on fire, then obviously I would want to keep him if he can find that consistency. And we're only 25 games in. The guy's got 17 points on the year, so by no means is he dogging it this year. He's definitely finding the net. He's been a lot better, a lot more patient with the puck, which is what I've been liking about him. But if we can move him and get a piece that is going to be an upgrade in another position, or allow an opportunity for Alex Bump to be able to get his trial in the NHL, I'm all for that. I mean, right now it's a time to take risks on stuff like that, because I do think Alex Bump belongs up here. I don't think he got dogged in training camp. I just don't think they had the spot for him. And a guy like that, you want him to get consistent minutes. So
right.
that's a big deal for a young kid like Bump. So especially coming off the year that he did. Plus, on the other side, you got Martone, who's probably a year or 2 away, maybe 3, depending on if he goes back to college next year. You gotta open up spaces for these young kids somewhere. And unfortunately, sometimes that winds up meaning guys like Tippett have to be sent out.
True. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I just feel like, okay, well, I'm not saying that there isn't options. What I'm saying is it's kind of unproven at the moment. Like the potential is very much there.
Yeah.
It's just unproven right now. Whereas it's a little bit of a different story with Hughes, and if you're just swapping D-man for D-man, it's literally just we upgraded
Mhm.
on Sanheim's spot. Whereas with you trade Tippett away now, it's like, okay, well, there's an opportunity here, but there's a lot of unproven talent. And so you're immediately, if you want to put somebody in that spot, that's great, but then you're going to have more inconsistency. And that to me is what I don't necessarily want to see. I want to see, like, okay, well, let's see if Tippett can get it going here.
Yeah.
And I feel like he can. I just think that as long as, like we've been saying, consistency, if he can get that consistency down, Tippett can be a really strong player for this squad in moving forward. So,
I,
and,
real quick,
yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt, but the one thing we're going to have to also consider is what team is going to be willing to take on 5 years at 6.2.
that's the
So
other thing too.
that's the other thing
Yeah,
you have to think about too.
yeah,
So it
that's
might be
the
a
other
little bit harder,
challenge. Yeah,
and I think it's all going to depend on Martin.
yeah,
What he decides
yeah.
to do when he signs. Does he sign at the end of this season? Does he go back for another year? So it really, I think that's the big thing to consider here with a move of Owen Tippett is, how soon do you get his replacement? Who's his replacement? There's still some questions there. Who's going to take the contract for 5 years at 6.2? Do you send it to a team like who's ever sitting at the bottom? I don't even know who's at the bottom anymore. It used to be Anaheim, Chicago. They're all up in playoff positions now. So I don't even know who's down at the bottom anymore. Maybe he's sending to San Jose. Oh, maybe a team like San Jose.
Hey, well, here's the thing though. San Jose's been playing a lot better this year.
So
So
fire.
I think honestly, I think they'd be open to, anything that could possibly improve their team's offensive capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Celebrini and Smith have just been lighting the lamp up over there, and honestly, guys like Wenberger all of a sudden, finding some life in them, and Toffoli's been finding some life in himself again, so it's like, okay, I'm sure San Jose wouldn't be against it.
No, San Jose currently right now is in the playoff spot.
Right, which
They're
is,
in the first wild card. That's crazy.
They beat the Mammoth last night 6-3, and Will Smith was like one of the big reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, like I said, Oskarov had a rough start to the year.
He did,
and I mean rough. Like he got lit up. I don't know what happened. He hit a switch, and he's been locked in ever since.
I think what it is I just think San Jose I think that they feel like, okay, we're here to prove a point. We're here to make a statement that, the future is with us. Yeah. And honestly, look at Celebrini play. I mean, that kid is unfreaking believable with what he can do.
He's almost double points in games played. Like he's 40 points in 20. How many games have they played? I don't even know how many games they've played. In 40 points in 27 games.
I know.
That's a ridiculous pace.
That's a ridiculous pace. That's like early Crosby years.
Steve Crosby right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so don't sleep on Crosby. Don't sleep on that age. He's still producing.
Oh, he definitely is. He had 2 goals against the Flyers last night. So
I think he had an assist on Russ' goal too.
Right. And I think Crosby is the guy who's scored the most goals against the Flyers. So, it's like, okay, well, that fits it, I guess. But the point being is that, I mean, Celebrini is just fucking crushing it. And like, this is a kid. Literally, this is a kid. He's not even legally allowed to fucking drink in this country, and yet he's fucking crushing it right now.
Yeah. Oskarov right now, he's sitting at a 910 save percentage. Like,
and he's a kid too.
He is a kid. I mean, he's a little bit older, but he's a kid.
Still a kid, especially by our standards.
Mm-hmm.
So
23. Like, this is a kid who's going to find his prime in a couple years, and he's already setting the stage to be make it. Nashville just absolutely regret moving him.
I'm just gonna say right now, Mike Grier is looking like a fucking badass fucking GM right now.
When they have Ravensburgen behind him,
I know
that's going to be a fantastic duo, and they are going to be scary for years to come.
San Jose the Sharks are coming back. The Finns are coming back, and that's not good news if you're out in the Pacific Division, because that is not good news.
No, Ducks are back.
The Ducks are coming
Kings
back.
are working. Kings are doing what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Knights struggling a little bit, but not nearly as bad as you would think they are. They haven't been terrible.
But as they stumble a little bit, it's an opportunity for the California teams to kind of get their footing back. You know, I mean, it's been a little bit since we've seen all three California teams make the playoffs.
Well, no.
I mean, as crazy as it may sound, who knows?
It sounds crazy. But here, you ready? Ready?
Go ahead.
Las Vegas might actually have a goalie now. So that's something else to think about, because Carter Hart makes his debut tonight for the Golden Knights.
Well, that'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. So if he's any form of the player that he used to be, this could be a really nasty division to play in this year, and it's already looking that way. Just real quick before we move into the holiday break here.
Of course.
You have Anaheim at the top. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm with you on that. Ducks are in first. Right behind them are the Kings. That's a 2-point differential. Third place is Vegas. They're 1 point behind LA. You have San Jose, 29 points. Seattle, 28 points. Edmonton, 27 points. Vancouver in seventh with 23 points. Calgary all the way in last and 22 points. It's 11 points between first and last. That's not a lot.
That is not a lot at all. That division's going to be rough, because that means that you're going to have at least two teams that are really competitive in that division, especially depending upon what happens in the Central, that may not make it. That could essentially miss the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
every team plus goal differential. And then
looking at the standings, every team except for the last two all have a winning record. And even still, Vancouver's 4 points behind Edmonton. Calgary's 5 points behind Edmonton. There could be a lot of people from the Pacific, a lot of teams in the Pacific Division in the playoffs this year.
Could be.
What's up, Pete?
Still early, so we'll see what happens when the second half of the season rolls in.
Oh, yeah, we're only 27 games in. So this is close now, but it could be very different in the next 20 games.
Absolutely. And Priz saying they're all giving up more goals than they're scoring. Well, that's the thing that's actually been kind of routine in the Pacific Division. I mean, look at the playoff games. I mean, just look at the Edmonton Oilers and the Kings last, 3 playoff series with each other. How many fucking goals are scored in games in those series? We're talking games that are 9-5, 6-8. You know, we're talking some crazy ass scores between those teams in the playoffs. That's a division that's just goal scoring heavy, basically.
I mean, that's fine. They can give up all the goals they want, but these teams are still finding ways to win. That's the point. You know, LA's got a -2 differential, but they're 12-6-7. Las Vegas, they're even. They're 11-6-8. You know, if LA and Vegas stop going to overtime, maybe you're looking at something a little bit different. But, San Jose, 13-11. Seattle, 11-7. Their differentials are -7. These teams are still finding ways to win. It's not always, black and white with some of the numbers, but these teams are finding ways to win, and they're the tightest division, in my opinion.
Right. And I correct myself, by the way, it was 3-0 against Tampa. My bad. But with that, let's turn it around here to the holiday road trip for the Flyers here, as I've pulled up the schedule that we have for December rolling in. It is December 2nd, so we are now officially in the holiday month, and Flyers have an interesting schedule coming up. So Obviously, tomorrow they start off against Buffalo. That's the beginning of their December, and
Mhm.
then they have the Avalanche, which the Abs are always a challenging team to go up against. If
You
you're,
kidding me? They got one regulation loss this year.
I know that's crazy to think about. And then an interesting game because on that December 9th, the Sharks and the Flyers face each other for the first time. And then Vegas and the Flyers face off with each other. And then it's the Hurricanes and the Flyers. And that's actually a home and home, I believe, between the two of those on the 13th and the 14th.
Don't see many of them anymore.
Nope, I don't think you do. And it is a back-to-back, so that'll be interesting. Flyers then face the Canadians. Then they face the Sabres again. Then they face the Rangers. So, and that'll be an afternoon. That'll be a matinee game. Then the Canucks, Tocchet's old team. And then we've got the Blackhawks and the Flyers facing off with each other. So, Pris, you might want to highlight December 23rd. That's when your boy Bedard goes up against the Flyers for the first time this year.
I would love to see it if Chicago wore the black jerseys in that game. Those are so sharp.
Well, it will be in Chicago, so it is possible.
Man. I'm so happy they brought those jerseys back. I'm happy Dallas brought back the 1999 retro looking.
See, I always love those jerseys from the Stars.
And they modernized it too, which is great.
I will say this though. This is just me. Maybe I'm alone in this. I really don't care for the Dallas Stars rebrand. I've never really cared for it, honestly. I always thought it was kind of shit. Yeah, I preferred the old logo. I preferred the old look, to be brutally honest.
Yeah. I just don't like the highlighter jersey that they have. I can live with everything else. I just don't like the highlighted jersey. It's disgusting. Stupid.
I got you. Flyers then take on the Kraken, and then they take on the Canucks one more time to finish off that season series. Then they take on the Flames to finish that one. And that ends the year. So, and that's on New Year's Eve. They take on the Flames. So that's what we've got on the docket for the Flyers.
Games. A lot of winnable games in that. Colorado's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago has the potential to be a tough game because they've been really hot for the majority of the year. They're kind of slowing up a little bit. They're coming back down to earth a smidge, but Lord knows where they'd be in the next couple of weeks. Chicago's getting fantastic goaltending from Spencer Knight. He's been just out of this world this year. Bedard looking like he's back in his game shape. Frank Nazar really good. Chicago has the makings to be a really, really tough matchup for the Flyers.
Could be. I would say probably the most winnable game out of all of these. I would say I would argue the Flames would probably be the most winnable game.
Don't let Dylan hear you say that.
I'm just saying.
He's gonna hate. He's gonna love it, but
listen, Dylan, love you, bro. But the Flames have, they haven't exactly been killing it this year.
No, and he doesn't want him to. He wants Gavin McKenna.
Right, I get it. Just saying, it's a winnable game for the Flyers. If the Flyers are playing well going into the new year, they may very well win that game. Just saying. Hey, you beat us in Calgary. Okay, you got your win at home, and this one you're going to be in Philly. Let us get the win in Philly. There you go. Even trade-off, and then you don't have to see us for the rest of the year.
Again, he's all about Calgary losing right now and losing as many games as possible. I'm the one that's sticking out to me right now, and it's kind of looking at it's staring me in the face, which is kind of like Vegas. Vegas is coming back.
They are.
The 11th in Philly. The return of Carter Hart.
That could be interesting.
That's going to be an intriguing matchup.
That will be very intriguing to see. That one's going to be probably the most intriguing out of all of them. Obviously, the ones that are going to be interesting ones to stand out. Obviously, you get the rivalry between the Flyers and the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And then The home and home with Carolina should be intriguing,
Yeah.
because obviously the Flyers they have to win at least one game out of that. You do not want to lose a home and home. I also think that
Yeah.
I think the game between the Sharks and the Flyers will be interesting,
What
only
up, Greg?
because of Greg. I think that has the potential to be interesting because of
Mhm.
just the way the Sharks have been playing.
No, for
So
sure.
that will be intriguing to see. I mean, just imagine if Mitchkov decides he's going to be having an amazing game, and Celebrini decides to do the same thing, and be like, "Oh my God," we could literally see two talented players going crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I said this when we did our schedule preview. Like, I'm just really shocked that they're putting of all the games to put the Flyers on TNT. It's against Buffalo, but
I mean, yeah,
that was weird. But yeah, I can see San Jose not being a pushover team anymore. They're really, like you're saying, they're really starting to put it together. They still have some holes to fill too, but
they
they've done a
do.
very good
Yeah.
job this year of really turning it around after a rough start.
Um, But I will say, and I do agree, Greg, fuck the Penguins forever and always. And Pris saying I could see Philly beat the Flames, Chicago, and Vegas. So he's kind of agreeing for the most part with us. He's agreeing with me on the Flames. He's agreeing with you with Vegas. So in
Oh, I don't
Chicago,
necessarily know if Flyers are going to beat Vegas, but I mean, they tend to play the top teams a lot tougher than some of the bottom feeders. It's intriguing to me because like I said, it's going to be the return of Carter Hart, and is he going to be in net or is he going to be playing backup that game? I mean,
that's
like,
interesting.
he
Interesting
makes his
question.
return tonight, so we'll kind of see how things go. And I'm lowering my expectations for how he's probably going to look. He hasn't played in
Right.
a year and a half.
Yeah, it depends on how he performs,
Mm-hmm.
in the weeks to come before this game. But I'd say weeks, but it's really only like a week before this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of dread the game against Colorado only because it could get away from us real quickly if we're not
Mm-hmm.
careful. If the defense holds strong though, then we have the potential to get a win on Colorado. But problem is, if Colorado starts lighting the lamp up and starts giving either Vladar or Urson a sunburn, oh, it's going to be a long night because
Well,
Colorado has the potential to do that.
the good news is this: if you take them to overtime,
Mm.
you have a shot.
Right, right. That is a good point.
So
Yeah.
they have 17 regulation wins. They have 6 overtime losses. I'm trying to do the math. 18, 24. Yeah, all their losses have come from overtime.
Well, the good
One
news.
regulation loss.
Well, the good
It's
news is,
crazy.
is right, and the good news is too is that the Flyers have seemed to be addicted to the overtime. So,
Yeah.
how many games have we already played that have gone to OT? I don't think we have the most OT games. I think there's one or two teams ahead of us, but we're still pretty high up there in the top 5 for OTs.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas is eight OT losses. So I think they're above the Flyers. As far as overtime, the Flyers have 14 wins. 7 of them were in regulation,
Hmm.
so they were in at least 10.
That's crazy. And Priz is saying that they only are up 3 points on Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes to show that Dallas is always going to be nipping at the heels of anybody in that division.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how they are. I mean, Dallas is a cup contender. Colorado's a cup contender. So, I mean, you have two teams right there that are trying to get, playoff home ice throughout the whole run.
Dallas also has 2 games in hand too, so
Right, right.
that's going to give them a little bit of an advantage. So the way Colorado's playing right now, you give them those 2 games, instead of being up 3, they're potentially up 7.
Right.
So
Now, I will say this too. Another winnable game. I think the Kraken could be a winnable game. In my opinion, out of those. Not to say that the Kraken are a bad team, but I think that they're still a team that they can be beaten. They can look susceptible real quickly. As for that, what do you think? How do you feel about the Canucks? Do you think that they would be beatable?
I mean, yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. They're one of those teams where I feel like if you sleep on them, they're going to hurt you.
That's true.
They still have a ton of talent.
Right. Montreal has the potential to be a crazy game only because the Canadiens team is freaking out of control the way they like to play. So
yeah, and they're so uber talented too. Like it's disgusting, you know.
Right.
And it goes so their depth is a lot deeper than people think it is. Just so much young talent on that team. I'm trying to think if the Flyers have played them already and how.
Yes, they did, and they beat Montreal because they decided.
Right, 5-4 in the shootout.
Right, because Montreal was winning going into the third period, and they got into a fight with Nick Deslauriers.
Right, Deslauriers sparked the team. Right, we were doing a live reaction to that game.
Yeah, he crushed. What's his nuts? How do you say his name? It starts with the X.
No.
I forget how you say his name. But point being is that he beat his ass. And then after that, Flyers tied the game up and won it in a shootout. It's like, that is stupid. I don't know what the fuck Montreal was thinking on that one. Jackie, that's how you say that? Okay. I trust you, Priz, because I know you're a Habs fan. So I trust you on that one. Jack I? Oh, okay. Point being is that has the potential to be a crazy one. Oh, that's right. Your mom's the Habs fan. That's right. But the point being,
close is being spelled the way that it's pronounced. I love hockey players' names; they're the best.
You do have to love them. But yeah, so I mean, the December schedule, it's not as bad as it could be. I mean, we could be facing some really challenging teams, and I'm not saying that no team is just going to be a fucking doormat, obviously. But like you said, winnable games here. There are some that are going to probably make us sweat. Definitely the Colorado game will be one of those. That'll be a challenging. Obviously, the game against the Rangers is a matinee, and matinees are always crazy and out of control, and it is the Rangers. So that's going to be one of those fucking games where, you know, anything could happen. Anything has potential to happen in that. And, you know, I mean, you got 2 games against the Canucks, so whatever happens on the 22nd will definitely affect the 30th. That's for sure. And the first game's in Philly, and the next one is in Vancouver. So, you know,
which that's always a dangerous place to play, no matter how good or bad the team is. They show up and show out. So it's always a tough spot to play. Rogers Center in Vancouver is scary, but it's sad when the PWHL team is better than the NHL team. And don't get me wrong, I love what the PWHL is doing. They're it's a fantastic product. I can't wait for them to expand and finally start being televised down here. They're doing fantastic.
I was hoping that when they were talking about expansion and they were getting ready to give the teams names, I was hoping that they were going to put a team in Philly. But
apparently the next expansion is going to be Philly.
Good.
Apparently. Good. I don't know how true that is, but Philly should be getting a team in the next couple of years.
Awesome, because I would love to start watching the women's hockey league, and that would be a great reason to start watching it. You know, to see a Philly team, watch them go on to win championships, and be like, okay, awesome, amazing. Can we get the Flyers to fucking do it now?
Nah, they're not going to do that because it's going to be a Philly team, and you know they like to keep us in the
Stop it. We can't keep having this damn curse. I mean, for fuck's sake, the Eagles have 2 Super Bowl rings. For fuck's sake, come on. If they can do it,
just as many Super Bowl rings as Stanley Cup titles for the Flyers.
Yeah, and as many World Series rings too on top of it.
Sure. So we're all tied at 2. It's fine.
Right. The only one that has more is the Sixers.
Oh gosh, don't tell me that. All right, we need one more for everybody. One more for everybody. Let's go.
3.
They have 3. Oh, we just need one more per team. It's fine. It's fine. We can do it.
Just one
Phillies
more.
can do
Okay.
it.
So the Eagles can
Eagles can
do it
definitely
this
do it.
year. The
Let's
Eagles can
go.
do it by winning a Super Bowl. All right. Let the Eagles do it this year since they have the potential to once again win another Super Bowl. The
They
Phillies
scare me
can
this year.
finally.
Can you wait till next year?
And then the Phillies can get off their fucking asses for once in the playoffs and go win another World Series. And then there you go. There's 2 teams right there in the bag. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Easier said than done, but
Right,
I like
right,
the logic. Let's go. Wrap it up.
right. Absolutely. All right. Yes, and
What's
I
up,
agree,
Tommy?
Tommy. What's up? Zegers is a killer right now. And SJ, I'm saying, going to get a women's hockey and WNBA team. Billy Griner can play center for both teams.
Nope. Nope. Keep her away from my city.
Anyway, so we with that being said, was there anything else that you wanted to throw in there for the December schedule there, Bry?
No, I think it's a definitely a month. I think they can come out with a winning record for sure.
Yeah.
But I want this. This is the month where the season officially starts for every NHL team.
Absolutely.
That's looking to get back into the playoffs too. So,
right.
I want this to be a month where they come out a little more consistently, set the tone, play with the lead more because I was saying this last week with Robbie. This is a team that has the fight to bounce back. Imagine if this team played with a consistent lead.
Yeah. I mean, here's the other thing too, and I will point this out. The lead, even when the Flyers score first, and this is a good thing we brought that up because they haven't held leads very well. And that's something that they need to work on because they had a lead against New Jersey and they let Jersey back into that game. Now, they did win it, but they let them back in that game. The Devils potentially had a chance to take that game back. So it's like, okay, let's be a little bit better with our leads here. When we score first, which isn't often, let's protect it better. Can we do that? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's one big criticism I have right now with that.
I mean, you're going to let up a goal or 2 or 3. Average goals in the game is going to be 3 for most NHL teams. I'm good with giving up 2 to 3, but if they do decide to, and this is why I think the Devils game was probably their best performance of the year so far. They answered, and then the Flyers answered right back, and they basically just stomped them into the ground, which
they
did. You love to see.
Right.
You love to see that for sure.
Right. But what I'm saying is it's like, when we get the first goal and we get a chance to set the tone, which hasn't been very often, we've had to come back a lot. Let's try to do a little bit stronger in holding, and that's the only thing I'm asking for. Because, once you get up 3 and then you start to, let's protect that a little bit more. Let's not sit back on our heels. Let's protect that a little bit more.
And I think as we fill holes, which we've been talking about in the poll question today, I think that's going to become a little bit more stable as far as power plays and stuff like that. We find more of those holes filled and get more consistency from guys like Michkov and Forster maintains his health. Zegers keeps doing what he's doing. We add to that. I think this team's going to start doing that a little bit more, and they're going to be a little bit more dangerous. But
right.
I just think for right now they have to just continue to be resilient, continue to answer goals after they've been given to them. Try and get 2 or 3 like they did against the Devils, and go up 4-1, maybe 4-2. Right. But the thing that I've been loving about this team so far is their fight, their resiliency, their ability to climb back into games and never count themselves out.
Absolutely.
That's going to go a long way. But you also have to find those games where you're setting the tone, you're getting the lead early, and you're protecting that lead throughout the entirety of the game. To answer Priz's question, I would say their worst period is probably the first, best is the third.
First period's been real rough for them, but third period has been really great.
Mm-hmm. They've always been, the last couple of years, they've been a really good third period team.
Absolutely. So, in the end, that will pretty much do it for the Flyers Talk A2D. December, like we said, has the potential to be a good month for the Flyers. It doesn't seem like it's as much a gauntlet as it has been in the past. But again, you still have to earn them. So hopefully the Flyers fight and drive, as we were talking about, as you just mentioned, Bri, doesn't go away. And they have the ability to continue to thrive in the third period, and maybe also thrive a little bit in the first, possibly. Maybe set some tones more often than not. But
From Porter Martones.
maybe I see what you did there.
Uh-huh.
So the point being is that let's see the month of December. Let's see the Flyers finish out the year of 2025 strong as we get ready to welcome in 2026 and the getting closer and closer to the All-Star break and the second half of the regular season when the playoff hunts really start to heat up. But all that being said, we thank everybody for joining us once again here on Flyers Talk A2D. Everybody in the chats, all the fam, we love you guys. Thank you very much once again for coming out and supporting us and making this show so much fun to perform and so much fun to be here. So thank you guys for that. Once again, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. If you got any aches and pains, remember the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal. He's the guy to go to, and his team's in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. They'll make you feel like new. And if you want to check out everything else that we got going on here at A2D Radio, Bri, what do the fam out there need to do?
You need to like, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. If you can't catch us live, if you catch us live, YouTube, Facebook, you can even got on Instagram. We throw all our clips and content on our Instagram. Go to X. You can't catch us live. Go wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. Spotify, Spreaker, Apple, SoundCloud. We are everywhere that you want us to be, and we are everywhere that you want to be. So whether you like baseball, football, wrestling, hockey, we got something for everybody. So we got shows going on just about every day. We got a couple Tuesdays niche night. So we got Wrestling Before Us. So go back and check out In This Very Ring. Andy Ritz and Eric Archer did a great job this week. Usually it's Michael Chromiak as a part of that, but Cromer took the week off. He did a show with the Blue Meanie on Monday. Go back and check that one out. Or as Jay Uso likes to do, go back and check it out. Go back and check it out. So we got something for everybody.
Absolutely. So whatever you love, as Bry's shown, go back and check it out. All right. So we thank everybody for joining us. We will see you guys next week right here on a2dradio.com. Let me pull up the schedule one more time just so that I know if we have. Yes, we do have a game to react to, and wouldn't you know it? Remember how I said the Flyers are playing the Sharks this month?
I can remember.
There it is. So the Flyers will be taking on the Sharks next week, and we could do reactions to the end of that game. So that will be next week on the docket for us. Until then, you stay safe, you stay healthy out there, folks. From all of us here, peace and love, and we'll see you next week.
4 letters, 1 word. Yeet.